Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me today is Sal Segala. Sal, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Sharon, and welcome to everybody that's tuning in. Hope you enjoy it, and we're ready to go.
We're ready to go for our Kansas review for the NASCAR Cup Series. Your overall thoughts, Sal?
Overall thoughts, it was a good race. You gotta always kind of like the drama that's involved with it. I don't know where Chase came from to win that thing because he was nowhere in the hunt.
That was an exciting finish, but he did show up.
That was a shocker. I think he even shocked himself.
I think so.
He did a post race. He was like,
push. He said he got a pretty good push.
Yeah, I'm just glad that he beat Hamlin.
Yes.
He's
well, I know a lot of people. Did you hear all the boos, Sal?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of boos.
Oh, yeah.
He was doing his interview.
Him, Bubba, and I don't know who gets more boos now, him or Bubba.
I can argue either side. When you're racing on the last lap and you're racing for the win and to advance to the next round, it's kind of like all bets are off. But I think he maybe could have looked at the bigger picture there. But at the same time, I could say that he didn't play any favorites. He didn't favor his driver. He was going after it himself. He said, on Sundays, I'm a race car driver.
Well, he did the same thing last week. He took out his own team.
Yeah,
you know. That was dumb because there was still 100 laps left. He could have just raced him and got around him clean.
That was
he could
a
have went around him
move.
clean.
Yep.
This one is, I guess when you're the team owner, you can do stuff like that.
Well, I suppose so.
But Bubba said during his post race when they asked him what do you think of it, he goes, just like if last year if you'd have done it, he goes, I'd still call him an idiot, basically, and a nicer term.
Yes, that's you put it more nicely than he did.
Oh yeah, than the way he did, but he just came out and said, he's an idiot for what he did. And when you think about it, it was because Danny has enough points to get to the next round. Bubba's fighting for the points to get to the next round. And as a team owner, you would think it's illegal because Danny could have gotten fined for changing the outlook of a race. It's in the rule book. So I mean,
right.
He could have raced him hard and made it look like he was racing him hard, but still let him have
without doing that. He did say that if he had it to do over again, he would have raced it. He would have given him a lot more room. But he also had that power steering issue that was going on with his car as well.
But
he knows he could have given him more room.
Oh, heck yeah, he could have. I mean, but oh well, that's between them. You know what? I mean, you don't expect nothing less from Danny, anyways.
There's some truth to that. So
as much as he says, all the other stuff, but everybody knows what his true colors are. You know what? And he's just dysfunctional.
I call it emotional intelligence. I think he lacks a little bit of the emotional intelligence. So anyway,
he's DD, dysfunctional, dysfunctional Danny.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this race because it was pretty exciting. The door of opportunity opened and Chase Elliott walked right through it. In the last few feet of the racetrack on the second overtime Sunday afternoon, Chase Elliott came from oblivion to take the Hollywood Casino 400 presented by ESPN BET and earn a berth into the round of 8 of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. As his number 9 Hendrick Motorsport Chevrolet sped wide open through the final quarter on lap 273 at Kansas Speedway, Elliott's car bounced off the side of Denny Hamlin's Toyota on the way to the finish line. And in his post-race interview, he said, I wasn't going to let up. I wasn't taking my foot off the pedal. So he was going full force on. Chase Elliott won the Hollywood Casino for his second win of the year and the second at Kansas Speedway and the 21st in his career. Hamlin finished second, followed by Christopher Bell and pole sitter Chase Briscoe. Then it was Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, and Shane Van Gisbergen. I will say Bubba still finished with a 5th place finish. Now, Hamlin was the dominant driver of the race, despite late race problems with power steering. He won stages 1 and 2 and also earned the fastest lap bonus. The race ended on the second overtime attempt. Wallace was the leader on the restart and led at the white flag, but he and Bell got together, creating an opening for Hamlin to move up. Hamlin then got up the track, forcing Wallace into the wall. Elliott jumped past both of them to win by 69 thousandths of a second. There were 20 lead changes among 11 drivers and 9 cautions for 48 yellow flag laps. The average speed of the race was 123.106 miles per hour, and that fastest lap bonus for Denny Hamlin came on lap 224 at 30.278 miles per hour. The race, actually, it was 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 35 seconds. So a pretty exciting race. There was some really interesting racing throughout the field. So
There was. Chris Bell, boy, I thought for a minute there he was gonna pull off a major upset too. And then the way they lined up, with the pushes, they're talking, about the push that they're giving each other, on the restart. And I guess Bubba Wallace wasn't too happy with the push he got from Tyler Reddick. But then when they went and replay it, they said Tyler Reddick did it perfect because if he'd have pushed him any harder, he'd have pushed him into the wall.
yeah,
But I guess Bubba got on the
exactly.
radio after the first restart and said, "Hey, you know what? I need Tyler to do more." But you're both fighting for a playoff spot. Tyler's going for the win too. I mean, he's
Tyler
below the
has a
cut line.
chance to win. Yeah,
He's below the cut line. I mean, what do you get? There comes a time,
they both were.
yeah. I felt bad for Brad because he got that awkward penalty earlier on in the race.
Yes,
I didn't.
something he should have known, though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he still ended up with a good finish at 8th. William Byron,
Yeah,
they
he
said,
did.
with the 9th place finish.
How about Shane Van Gisbergen with that
Yeah,
10th place finish?
getting a 10th, finishing in front of Ross Chastain. But
On an oval.
yeah, that whole thing with the 23-11 with Bubba and Tyler and Denny, it's just not I don't know, those three are it's hard to say. Bubba, you know what? After Bubba won the Brickyard, his whole attitude just changed, and I started liking him. Because he didn't get all cocky. After the win, he
Yes.
just he was really humble about it. And even for the weeks after that. And then just this past weekend with the whole Danny Hamlin thing, flipping him off, and flipping him the bird when he went by, then afterwards he went up instead of shaking his hand and hugging him, he just went by and kind of slapped him in the back of the neck, and walked away. But it's just his comments, and he's back to, what? I mean, if it wasn't for his ethnicity, I don't think Michael
Ethnicity.
Jordan would have him around. I think Michael would have already got another driver.
Well, yeah, we'll see how this all ends up. I have to give him credit. His crew chief got him in a good position because he was not up there, and the crew chief made a strategy call that worked really well for Bubba Wallace. Again, there weren't a lot of accidents, but there were a few here in the NASCAR Cup Series. Cody Ware was the first on lap 52 that took him out. Also an accident on lap 216 that took out J.J. Allmendinger. Ricky Stenhouse was still running, as was J.J. Yaley. Josh Berry got caught up in an accident, 266, and that actually took out 3 cars, Zane Smith and John Hunter Nemechek. And that incident with Zane Smith, I was worried about him.
Oh,
I was so glad to see him get out of that car.
that was crazy.
That was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. That was on lap 266. Everybody else was running. Now, there were 273 laps in the race. There were 24 cars finishing all 273 laps. And that's with Ryan Blaney was the last car on the lead lap. The rest of the cars all finished, although it was a lap or more down. So any other thoughts you want to point out here, Sal?
No, that was it. There was one other driver I was looking at. I really miss Kyle Busch. You know what? Beating his winning ways. Something's always happening to him. You know what? He hasn't had a win in a long time. You know what?
Yeah,
I
he's
man,
been having a rough year of it.
yeah, he's been having ever since he went with RCR. He's been having a rough year. You know, I kind of wish he would just leave RCR. You know, go to a team where he can be competitive. But it's kind of hard when Braxton Bush already signed a contract with Richard Childress, even though he's
Yeah,
only 13 years old, which I think is pretty ridiculous.
well, and he's had that contract for a couple of years
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
already.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yep, yep. He did come home with the 19th place finish. Hey, let's go ahead and cover the points here.
So the points are Chase Elliott leading, Ryan Blaney in second. They both have their wins, so they're already into the next round. Then we got Kyle Larson in third, Denny Hamlin in fourth, Chris Bell in fifth, William Byron in sixth, Chase Briscoe in seventh, and Joey Logano is now on the bubble. Outside of the top eight is Ross Chastain, who's 13 points behind Joey. Bubba Wallace, who's 26 points behind the bubble. Tyler Reddick, who's 29 points, and Austin Cedric is 48 points. And it's funny because Bubba, they asked him what came good out of the night. And he says, he goes, instead of being 27 points, now 26. So I gained 1 point.
He
You know,
did gain a point.
being a smart aleck, but it's going to be a roll coming up. It's going to be a fight.
It's going to be very tight because the total possible points in any given race is 61 points. That's if you have a perfect day. So a lot can happen at the Roval, and nobody except Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney are safe right now. So it's going to be, you're right, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out on the Roval.
It is. It's gonna, and you know when you look at that, the playoff points you have Kyle Larson's 32 to the good, and Danny Hamlin's 36, Byron's 32. I mean that's really gonna help them. Get through that. Get to that rough spot.
Hopefully, yeah.
And
Hopefully they don't come out and have a, broken axle or something right away and out of the race
you
early.
would think Joey would have more. 8 playoff points is all Logano has.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He just doesn't race for the. He doesn't race for the stage points. He races for the race win.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean,
So he doesn't have much of a cushion that's going to help him get to that next round.
you don't have any cushion.
Yeah, he doesn't. So again, it's going to be fun to watch next weekend. I'm looking forward to the races. How about you, Sal?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I don't even know if I'm even gonna be around or not. I haven't even looked at my calendar.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you will be.
Yeah,
I will
I mean,
say, I do watch for more coming soon from Vampire Racing Radio. Sal and I now have all the reviews completed, and they should be up Monday afternoon, evening. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, we'll have our NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off with Jay and Chris, and we'll discuss all the hottest topics from the NASCAR weekend of racing. And it is interactive. We have a live stream with a live chat room, and we hope you'll join us and interact with us throughout the show on all of the topics that we have listed. Later this week, Jay and I will be back with all the previews for races next weekend, as well at the Charlotte Roval with all three of NASCAR's top 3 series racing, along with the ARCA Menard Series season finale that's going to be taking place out at Toledo Speedway. So that's going to be fun. And then hopefully Taz and I will be around on Friday to give you our fantasy report for the NASCAR Cup Series and help you with all your fantasy picks for the weekend as well. So with that, Sal, we want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we'll look forward to seeing you tonight on Hot Topics.
all right, everybody. Thank you for listening, for spending the evening with us, and we will hear from you next week. Have a safe week. Have a safe weekend, and enjoy yourselves.